Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video where I'm just going to quickly go through the sort of rules and guidelines for this new challenge I'm doing called Pokémon Evolocke. So it pretty much means like Evolution-Locke, and it's not really... The purpose of this is not to say, hey, I've made something new, come check it out. It's really just to bring together a few ideas. I mean, I've seen an Evolocke challenge, or like a KetchumLocke, or an Unevolved Nuzlocke sort of bouncing around a few places, so I thought I'd just kind of try and bring them all together in this sort of Evolocke idea. And so the reason why I like this challenge so much is really because just about a year ago I watched the first season of the TV show again, and I really like how, although Ash has some very questionable tactics as he's going about trying to get his badges, I really like how he doesn't really force his Pokemon to evolve just to get stronger so that it's easier to take down all these gyms. He just really lets them do their own thing, and he doesn't really push them to evolve. He just lets them chill out as they're doing it, just gets the best out of them as they're whatever form they're in, even if it's not the strongest. And I also really like how when there is like an evolution and one of them evolves, it's really, they've overcome some challenge or overcame some adversity, so it means something more than just getting to level 16 so your Bulbasaur evolves into an Ivysaur. So that's what I really think are the main things to this challenge. So it does build on the sort of Nuzlocke formula, so I'm just going to go through the rules quickly. So rule number 1, you can only catch the very first Pokemon you encounter in each area. So this, if you go into Route 1 and there's a Pidgey and a Rattata or whatever there is, you can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter. If you end up killing that Pokemon or you run away from it, that's it. You can't catch anything in that area. That area is locked off from you. You can use gift Pokemon, so like in the first generation games in the Celadon Mansion where there's an Eevee, if you haven't got anything in Celadon City, you can grab that Eevee and that's your encounter for that place. So yeah, you just need to keep count of what Pokemon you get in each area. Make sure that you don't get more than your first encounter. Another thing I think would be good to do is what I'll be doing is I'll be using the species and dupes clause, just so that if you caught a Rattata in Route 1 and then later on you encounter a Raticate as your first encounter, that doesn't count because it's from the same species as your Rattata. And so dupes clause I'm going to be using, I think, probably 3. So if you encounter a Pokemon you've already caught or from the same species 3 times when you're searching for your first encounter, and you burn through 3 encounters and don't find anything new, then that area you just don't get anything. So it's just to try and freshen up your team so you don't end up using the same thing a bunch. And also just in the later games when there's double or horde battles, I think it'd just be take your pick of whichever one you want, just make the other ones faint and then just catch whichever one you think would be best. Yeah, so the second rule is once a Pokemon faints, it dies. It's just, well, it's considered dead. It's had its chance. It's tried, but it's just fallen short. So when that happens, you've got to either release it back into the wild or put it in your box. I'd say release it because it feels a bit bad to just have it there in your box, just sitting there for eternity being sad. So once it faints, that's it gone. So yeah, try not to make your Pokemon die. Rule number 3, it's just once a Pokemon goes into your party, it can only leave your party if you choose to release it or it faints. So say in the first generation games you've got a Charmander, you maybe caught a Caterpie or something. That Caterpie needs to stay in your party until it dies or it faints. It's there for the whole time. Once you get more than 6, and then one of your Pokemon faints, you can then bring in any of your other Pokemon you have built up in your PC. And then once it comes into your party, it then needs to stay. It's just so that the earlier Pokemon, they get a chance to really give something and have a chance to get through this whole challenge, rather than just as soon as you get something stronger swapping it in. So yeah, so that's rule number 3. So can only catch the very first Pokemon in the first area. Once a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead, so you need to release it. And also, once a Pokemon's in your party, it has to stay. You can, if you need that HM to pass through an area, you need Surf or something, that's okay, you can switch it in. But once you've used the HM and you've gotten past the bits where you have to progress the game, then you've got to switch back to your normal team member. So no just using Fly because it's easier and putting a HM slave in there. You've got to, if you don't have somebody who can fly, you've got to walk. You gotta get that bicycle out. You gotta pound those legs. Cool. So rule number 4: once all Pokemon that you capture, they must have a nickname, because Pokemon are your friends. You gotta be buddies, and just having a nickname just makes it feel more personal. You care about these little bunches of data with a smiley face on them. You care about them, so you gotta give them nicknames. Maybe use a theme, like superheroes. So you got your Pikachu, who's Thor, 'cause he's got lightning, or maybe it's a woman, so it's Storm or something, just to mix it up a bit, you know. So you got the sort of theme going through. And then rule number 5, which is the Evolocke rule, is that Pokemon do not evolve normally. When it says a Pokemon wants to evolve, you must cancel that evolution. I know it's probably not the best way for this challenge. I think in general, it'd be better if, rather than just your Pokemon, when it evolves at a certain level, rather than it just automatically evolving, it should almost be like you need to press a button to trigger that evolution, just so you're not forcing that Pokemon to evolve. But that's a different thing. So you cannot evolve your Pokemon. The only way you can evolve your Pokemon, which I'm trying to build in the whole trial through adversity thing, is once you beat a gym, you are allowed to pick one of the Pokemon who fought in that battle. They can then evolve. So say you're going against Brock in the first gym and you use the Charmander, and you caught a Metapod in Viridian Forest. So you use both of them in the actual battle. You can then choose to evolve the Charmander into a Charmeleon, or that Metapod into a Butterfree. You can only choose one or the other, or one of the Pokemon who fought. So you're able to catch Pokemon that have evolved, but you cannot evolve them further unless you beat a gym and then choose to evolve that one Pokemon. Again, it's not the best thing, because there's more than just beating the gyms, but I think that's the best way to have consistency across all the games. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So just to go over the rules, you can only catch the first Pokemon in each area. If you by any chance you come across a shiny Pokemon, I just don't use it in a challenge, but just catch it because it's a shiny Pokemon. I mean, are you crazy? Like, the odds of that are astronomical. But yeah, so if you find a shiny, catch it, but that's not really part of the rules. If first encounter in each area you can catch, if you kill it, it's over. All Pokemon must receive nicknames. Once a Pokemon is in your party, it's there forever until it faints, just to give the Pokemon you catch at the start a bit more of a chance. Yeah, when you kill a Pokemon, it's considered when one of your Pokemon faints, it's considered dead, so you got to release it. And then your Pokemon are not allowed to evolve unless you choose to evolve it as one of your Pokemon after you defeat a gym. Cool. So I think that's pretty much it. Just if you have any questions, just leave a comment or contact me in any way. So I'm planning on starting my challenge on Monday next week, so I'm gonna hopefully be getting a pattern of doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday as my videos. So yeah, so Pokemon Crystal Evolocke coming soon. I think that's all the rules. Obviously you can make it a bit harder by limiting certain things, and there's a bunch of ways that you can find out about that. Just type in "make Nuzlocke harder" or whatever on Google, or go on Poke Community. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So those are the guidelines for Pokemon Evolocke. Look forward to seeing any of you if you're interested when I start my challenge on Monday. Alright, see you later.